Beautiful. All right. Welcome everyone to your Poga practice. Beginning in a seated posture. Sitting in a way that allows you to sit tall, right? You can be kneeling, cross-legged, or just if you're seated on something high, ankles underneath the knees. Yeah. And if you feel comfortable closing your eyes, you can do so. And we're going to do about 2 minutes of a focused meditation, and our focus is our breath. So close the eyes and just start to draw the awareness inward. Just notice anything immediately trying to get your attention. This might be a physical sensation in the body or an emotion, a thought. And just graciously acknowledge and then set aside, trusting that everything important will come back to you at the end of class. And start to notice the breath, where it is in the body. And what does the sensation of breathing feel like? Shoulders relaxed. Feeling the breath move in all directions, 360 degrees, front, back, side, down, and up. And trying not to let any breath go by unnoticed. As we invite the mind to join the body in the present moment. And if the mind has wandered, gently draw the attention back to breath. Allow the eyes to flutter open if they're closed. Yes. Well done, everyone. Whatever you experienced during your meditation, whether you found that pleasant, unpleasant, borderline unbearable, or you felt like you weren't doing it right, it doesn't matter. It's all beneficial to you, whether you enjoyed it or not. That's the great thing about meditation, is that no matter your experience, it's helpful. And I've said this before, but one of the reasons why this meditation is especially helpful for us as dragon boaters, especially competitive dragon boaters, is that when we are at that race line at nationals or at an away race, and you have all this commotion happening everywhere, you have voices, you have boats next to you, the other steers people are yelling commands at their boats, right? What does your coach tell you? Keep your eyes and mind in this boat, right? Shut out everything else that is around you. You are in this boat, right? So our ability as athletes to focus our mind is very, very important. Okay, so that's part of why, if you're kind of not thinking like, why is this important? Or that's not really why I'm here. I'm here to get more mobile. Like, that's why Brett told me to come, not to meditate, right? But you can think of meditation not as a way of achieving enlightenment or Zen or a Kundalini awakening, right? That might not be what's important, but for us as athletes, what's important is being able to focus the mind, right? So just lending that, kind of couching that in context for us as athletes. Wonderful. Interlace the fingers and reach up over the head, creating a little roof over the head. And you're going to think about lifting the rib cage away from the hips, right? So your biceps are framing the ears. If your head is hanging out, do your best to bring it back. Yes, wonderful. And you don't have to look exactly, you might say, oh my God, her elbows are so straight or whatever. That's okay. Whatever shape that your body takes on is the right shape for you, right? So do not compare. Yeah, wonderful. Keep reaching a little bit more, pressing, pressing, pressing. Yeah, creating space in the sides of the body. Notice what the breath feels like here. Good. And when your next exhalation comes, use it to slowly lower the arms down with control. Good. Interlacing fingers behind you or just clasping onto an opposite wrist. You don't have to interlace. When your next inhale comes, use it to back bend. Look up, open through the chest. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, reaching the hands towards the floor behind you. Wonderful. Yeah, the pelvis rocks forward as we extend the spine, open the throat, letting the head hang back to where it's wherever it remains comfortable for you. Right, this stretch through the front of the neck and throat. Good, and release the grip, slowly coming around in front. And this time we're going to crisscross at the wrist so that the thumbs end up pointing down, pinkies are up, interlace. Yes, and when your exhale comes, use it to round the spine. Let the head drop so the chin is to the chest, reaching the fists out towards the front room. Good. Keep reaching, so we're actively reaching forward, shoulder blades coming away from the spine as we open the back body and close the front body. Good, and then find the breath here, filling the shape of your body with the breath out to the very edges. Imagine creating space with every inhalation. Wonderful. When the inhale comes, releasing the grip, slowly returning to neutral spine. We'll take the right hand and bring it across the body to the outside of the left thigh. And then the left fingertips come behind, lightly tented behind us. So just not a lot of pressure. We're not leaning back on that hand. An inhale is used to lengthen the spine and lift the chest. And the exhalation is an invitation to come more deeply into the twist, right? Wrapping the body around the midline. If the head is down and you're looking at the floor, lift the chin and look over the shoulder to the horizon behind you. And find the breath. Another opportunity to bring in that fresh oxygen into the muscles, into the brain. Final inhalation. And when the exhale comes, use it to move slowly through center and to second side. Inhaling length and exhaling depth. Notice where the eyes are, where the gaze is going. All right, just like in the boat, the eyes stay up. It's very rare that we're going to be looking at the floor unless we are prone. Good, final inhale. And our exhale moves us through center. Nice, everyone. I'm just going to turn so that people can see what's happening from the side as we do some seated cat and cow here. So hands will come to rest on the knees. Again, you don't have to be cross-legged like me. You can be seated in any position, and you can still be in your chair for this as well. It's an inhale. You're going to pull on the knees or thighs, open the chest, rock the pelvis forward, and look up. And then exhale, rounding through the spine, chin to chest, gazing down at your belly. Continue using the rhythm of your own breath, creating this wave in the spine that starts in the pelvis and ends in the head, right? So the pelvis will initiate and just feel what that experience is like. Normally, we are initiating movement with the head and the neck, right? So this is challenging. So really focus. One more round of breath, full inhale and full exhale. Then we can return to neutral. Nice. Good. I'll move back to center here. And just one last movement before we come into tabletop position on the mat is going to be a bit of a flow. So on the inhalation, we're going to lift the right arm high. Exhale into lateral bend. Feel free to support yourself with the left hand. Good. Inhale through center. And exhale, second side. Inhale through center and down. Good. You can kind of see where we're going with this, right? It's just a gentle rocking, lateral bending side to side using the breath, just moving at your own pace. You don't have to move exactly with me. And one thing that the practice will be focusing on today is our ability to pause within the challenging position of a forward fold, a twist, and a lateral bend. And that is the position, good, you can come through center here. That is the position that we are in when right before the catch, right? So a lot of your coaches will tell you, don't rush the catch. Don't rush it, right? The problem is when we don't rush it and we actually, the blade goes in at a positive angle, it makes the stroke like 80% harder, right? We're like, so we can do our best. So one of the things we're going to work on today and until we get on the water and throughout our Poga practices is to build endurance within the core in order to hold that. Okay, so we're going to hit a few postures today where you're going to feel a lot of challenge in the obliques, in the lats, and in the core. All right, let's take, if you're sitting on something or in a chair, remove it, come on down. We are in a tabletop position. Hands directly underneath the shoulders, knees under hips, tops of the feet can be down. Yeah, good. We're going to come right into an alternating bird dog, following the rhythm of the breath to guide you. So the inhale extends opposite arm and leg. And then the exhale brings you back to neutral. And then change sides. Inhale, opposite arm and leg. Yep. And exhale in. And the challenge is to follow your breath, right? It's slow. Yeah, and if you find yourself trying to rush, just notice that, right? Yeah, notice. This is different, than a HIIT class or other things that we might be doing to maintain and build fitness for our paddling. A big part of our Poga practice is the connection to ourselves, right? The connection with the body. Good. One more on each side, wherever you are, just finishing up one more round of breath on each side. And then we'll meet in our neutral tabletop position. Good. It'll be this way for this. The right leg is going to go out 90 degrees to the side. Plant the foot. So we're not on the inner edge. We've got the full foot planted. And do your best, right? I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. All right, let's begin a little thoracic spine mobility. On the inhalation, the left arm is going to reach high, and you're going to follow the fingers with the gaze. Exhale to thread the needle through, and then inhale to reach back up again. Good. Follow the rhythm of your breath. On the inhale, you'll feel shoulder blade moving in towards the spine. And as you exhale and thread the needle, the shoulder blade moves away. One more full round. Good. And then the hand can come back underneath the shoulder. We're going to walk the hands towards the body and then up the body until we are upright. So basic alignment here is shoulder, knee, shoulder, hip, and knee. And then we've got our right leg out to the side. Okay, and again, we're just trying to keep the foot planted as best we can. And it should be directly out to your side, not out in front and not behind, okay? If you have a block or something, or you can use your roller here, just something on your left side. Yeah. Inhale to lift the left arm high. Exhale, lateral bend. Now there's a few options for your hand on this side. You can simply drape it, right? Just allowing it to relax. If you want a stretch through the pec, wrap the arm around, right? If you take this on, right, notice what happens to the upper elbow. Open up the chest towards the sky. The gaze is up past the elbow. Yeah, nice. So one of the compensations that can happen when we're trying to get into this range of motion of lateral bending is this twist happens, right? Where we collapse in on ourselves. So really open, send energy out the fingertips, right? All the way out to the end, not like a wilting flower, right? No, really reach. Nice, final inhalation in this posture, and the exhale is gonna bring you through center. Wonderful. So we've got something, either your block or roller, something on this side. You're going to place the hand down. You'll notice I'm pretty straight line here on my top line. And then the arm is going to come over the head, right? So now I'm really straight. Yeah, and there's no real straight lines in nature. So please don't, don't fret too much. Yeah, good. Bicep framing the ears. Now here's the challenge. Lighten the hand that's near the floor. Yeah, good. So if you need a little support, put the hand down, come up, put it down, come up. But if you're feeling pretty good, take that hand and reach it around. This is the engagement, right, that we feel largely when we're not rushing the catch. When we take that extra moment, right, to insert the paddle at a positive angle, okay? It's not easy. Okay, so we're building this endurance. Just a few more breaths. One more inhale. And as the exhale comes, use it to squeeze the core and rise through center. Really nice. So let me demonstrate here while you guys catch your breath for a second, exactly what I'm talking about. So when we're here, this is where the rush happens, right? We go in and we go immediately down, right? Which causes us to enter at a negative angle. But instead, if we're at the catch, we don't rush, right? It's actually a slight two-parter, right? We're here and then we enter there and then the pull through happens, or the press through, or the push through, however you want to call it, right? But again, if we don't have the core endurance, then we rush it, right? Which is completely like, and don't get me wrong, I rush it. I can only do maybe 20 strokes like that before I get absolutely exhausted. So let's come back into that table. We're going to change sides. Left leg goes out. Let's move our stuff over to the right. We need to do our arm movement first. Once you settle in, the inhalation lifts the right arm high. Gaze follows the hand. Exhale to thread the needle through. Continue using the rhythm of your own breath. So this balance of mobility and strength and endurance, right? This is what makes an athlete, right? We can't just have one of these things. You have to bring them all in and integrate them. One more round of breath, full inhale and full exhale. Nice. Hand returns under shoulder. Begin to walk the hands towards the body, up the body until you are upright. Wonderful. The inhale lifts the right arm high. And the exhale comes into lateral bend. Good. Two options. A gentle draping, right? Opening the chest up towards the sky. Or you can wrap the hand or the arm around into a bind, is what they call it in yoga. And then find the breath, right? Breathing into this shape. A lot of teachers will say the moment when you feel that you want to leave the pose is when the pose has just begun. Yeah. Good. Final inhalation here. And your exhale will slowly and controlled bring you through center. Yeah. Unwind if you're wound. And let's bring the hand down. First, creating that straight line through the top line. And one thing I want you to notice here is if the shoulder is like hanging out on the ear, I want you to take your left shoulder blade, draw it down and back. This might bring a soft bend into the elbow. What does that bend remind you of? Right, that's the athletic bend in the top arm, right? This is not good, right? No power, no stability. This is where you want to be. So take that shoulder blade down, back. Okay, external rotation of the rotator cuff. Bring it across if you're feeling feisty, right? Or you can play around with just hovering or lightening the weight in the bottom hand. You don't have to completely let go, right? That's okay. Good. Now feel that band, right? This whole 360 degrees around the core, engaging, heating up. That's right. Just a few more breaths. Here's the endurance part. Hold steady. Breathe. Breathe behind the shield. Good. Final inhalation. And the exhale, brace the core and slowly rise through center. Allow the heat to just woo out of that top arm. Hands come down and the knee comes in. Really nice, everybody. Beautiful work. We're going to come into a child's pose here. So bring the knees wide, toes together, and sit the hips back towards the heel. If you can't rest your forehead comfortably down, that's a great time to bring in your block or maybe your roller, right? If you don't have a block, that's fine. So that you can close the gap, right? Bringing that floor up to you. Breathe into the back of your body. Become aware of your posterior chain. As you breathe in, the shoulder blades spread, the back ribs separate. Nice. On an inhale, rising back to your table. And hold here and breathe in your tabletop, setting your block aside or whatever was under your head if you had something. Knees back under hips. We're going to walk our palms about a palm length out in front of us. Yeah, so we're a little bit longer than our regular tabletop. We'll be moving into a flow. So the inhale, we're going to move forward and then drop the hips, lift the chest, lift the gaze, pull the shoulders back and down. And then exhale to return to child's pose, right? Hips to heels. Inhale to rise through center once again, moving through center, past center, drop the hips, lift the gaze, back bend, squeezing your tush a little, and then exhale back. Yeah, and your hips might not touch your heels. That's okay, right? Any variation on this, right, that works for you. Yeah. Moving slowly, smoothly, following the rhythm of your own breath. Good. On your next exhalation, instead of coming back to child's, return to your tabletop. We're going to tuck the toes under and come into our first downward facing dog. So keeping a bend in the knees, lift the hips, and bring basically straight line from wrist, elbow, shoulder to the hips, right? So prioritizing the length and extension of the spine, keep a bend in the knees, right? Heels can be totally off the mat, but relax the ankles so that gravity might just kind of pull them down a little. Nice, nice, nice. Good. Continue to breathe while you're here. Press your chest towards the top of your thighs. Good. And then drop down to the knees once again. We're going to take the right foot and replace the right hand with the foot. Boom. So just bring it forward, right? Take your time doing that. Might take a few steps. That's the right top of the foot comes down. And then press up into an upright position. Arms are going to come up over the head. And then send that knee forward. And you'll see this connection between my back hip and my front knee. My knee goes forward and it opens the back hip. Gaze slightly high. Shoulder blades together and sliding down the spine. Nice little softness in the elbows. And then reach energetically through the fingertips. Good. Hold and breathe. Steady. Pushing a little into the front foot. pushing through the back top foot. Nice. Bring the arms out, shoulder height, reaching out in front of you. And then the right arm is going to open up and the gaze follows the right hand. Nice work, right? So compartmentalizing low body and upper body. Hips remain square to the front of the mat. And we bring this twist into the mid-spine. Very nice. And can we relax the shoulders, but keep the reach, right? Down with the shoulders, out with the energy, right? Instead of sending the energy up, send it out. Very good. On your inhale, arms come up over the head. And then the exhale, you can make your way to downward facing dog. Tuck back toes, lift the knee and send it back, right? Take as many breaths or time as you need to get here. And if you just really don't like the down dog or it hurts or like you don't feel like it's right or whatever, you can always just come back into a table and just wait there, right? Because this is just always going to be a transition pose. Yeah. But it's not for everyone, so it's okay. Nice. Let's drop to the knees. Left foot replaces left hand. Get your bearings. You can take your left hand, press into the top of the thigh to rise up. Back of the foot is down. Arms come over the head. And then send the left knee forward, opening up through the right hip. Nice. A little softness in the elbows, a little back bend. And finding the breath. Yeah. Good. Reaching out in front, shoulder height. And then open up with the left arm, looking over the shoulder. Shoulders down, reaching out. Long neck. Not looking down at the floor, right? Look behind you towards the hand. Find the breath. Good. On an inhale, the arms sweep up and over the head. And on the exhale, making your way to downward dog. Good. Walk your feet to your hands. So keep a deep, nice bend in the knees as you walk forward to the top of the mat. And then forward fold while you arrive. Deep bend in the knees. Do not have straight legs during your forward fold. Let the head hang, clasp onto opposite elbows. Relax your neck again and again and again. When you think it's relaxed, relax it again. Yeah, nice. Feel the effect of gravity. And instead of fighting it or resisting gravity as we normally need to, give into it, right? From the base of the spine to the top of the head, feel that pull and let it pull you. Good. Full and complete exhales. Good. Releasing the elbows, bending the knees even more as we rise up slowly, unfurling the spine like you're one of those little fiddle heads in the springtime, right? Slowly opening into a fern. At the top, shoulders roll back, gaze lifts, and we arrive in Tadasana, right? Yeah, standing at the top of the mat. Beautiful. I'm just going to adjust my camera a little bit. Bonk. Okay, that's good. Wonderful. We're going to take a big step back with let's start with, it's going to make more sense. The right leg is going to take a big step back. Now, once you get there, you're not walking a tightrope, right? Not a tightrope. You want hip distance apart. And then the back heel is up and the ball of the foot is down on that back leg. So don't plant the heel. Keep the heel up. So it's like we're in a long lunge position. Yeah. Good, good, good. So what we're going to practice here is a little bit of extension in the spine. So bringing the hands behind, interlacing fingers or grabbing onto an opposite wrist, whatever works best for you. You're going to open up here. And we have this position in the legs that is challenging, right? So we've got a few things going on here. So hold steady, feel the feet and the ankles working to steady you, and then squeeze the muscles of your legs, squeeze your bum. Yes, creating stability. Good, just one more breath. And when the exhale comes, release your grip. Wonderful. Plant the back foot, and the toes are going to be at 90 degrees, right? So I'm opening my right hip. So your toes are probably going to be facing me, most likely. I don't want to say that. That might mess you up. But my left toes are pointed this way. My right toes are pointed this way, right? 90-degree difference. Yeah. Okay, cool. I want to make sure I have either my roller, my block, or something near me as we go into triangle pose. If you have a block, whatever, you're going to put it on the inside of that left foot, straighten through the front knee, right? Now, when I say straighten, you can have a bend. You don't have to completely lock it out, but I just don't want a deep bend. Arms are going to come up. Yeah, we're going to Trikonasana, triangle pose. I want you to look out over your left fingers, and I want you to reach out over the horizon as much as you can. Hold when you can reach no further. Check your arms. They should be horizontal, not this way, right? This hip is this way. There's a big fold here. Soft in the knee. Okay, now we're ready to rotate. The arms rotate 90 degrees, okay? So we've got our blocks here. You can be here, that's fine, right? Whatever you want to do, or if you'd like, you don't have anything and you're hanging out here, right? Squeeze your tush on the right side. Think about opening up your chest. Now, here is the challenge. You don't have to, it's just an option. Take this arm and wrap it around. Okay, so here we are again. Kind of familiar, right? So what is holding us up? It's not the pressure through the arm, it's the core, right? This is the core endurance part, okay? Squeeze the heck out of your legs. Push your feet into the floor. Tension creates stability. Good, hand comes to the hip. If your hand is up, bring it back down. All right, let's prepare to rise, okay? It's gonna be on an exhale. Whenever you're ready, the exhale, push through your back foot and rise up with control. Whoa, my goodness. Sweaty. Okay, so we're gonna literally just pivot everything to the other side. We're gonna go pivot 90 degrees and pivot 90 degrees, and then one more pivot on the back leg because we wanna end up in that long lunge. Hands come behind, interlace fingers or grab onto opposite wrists and open up through the chest. Squeeze the legs, push down through the front foot, push down through the ball of the back foot, dig the toes in. Yes, finding that stability and finding the breath. Yeah. Good. Final inhalation. Exhale to release the hands. Good. Let's pivot that back foot 90 degrees. Oh, let's bring our stuff with us too. Cool. All right, straightening out a little bit through the right leg. Arms lift. First things first, we got to reach over the horizon. You're going to hinge at this hip as you reach. This hip moves this way, right? Hinge, 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 hinge as far as you can. You're going to notice a stretch here most likely, maybe a stretch here. Hold and breathe for just a moment, right, before we transition. All right, sweep the arms, and we arrive in Trikonasana. So if you notice this shoulder is dropping towards the floor, open it, okay? Use anything you need to, right? So that we have this straight line. Pressing against, if you're not using anything, that's fine, press, right? The back of the arm into the leg to create leverage and to open up. Option for challenge, wrap it around. And then you gotta breathe, right? There's never a point in our dragon boating that we hold our breath, and it's no different in our yoga practice. We fill each second with the breath. Good, squeeze those legs. Nice, if the hand is lifted, bring it down. Good, hand to hip. Wonderful, so the goal here is to come up in one motion, right? So we're not rolling up. We're going to push through the back leg. It's an inhale to rise with control. Very nice. Pivot the right foot in. So now your toes are facing the front. Yep, beautiful. Hands to hips. Yeah, it's an inhale to back bend, look up and out. And then on your exhale, bend your knees, bend your hips, full forward fold. And at the bottom, totally release your head and your neck and your arms. Just flop onto your mat. Once you're down here, you might want to get a little wider between your feet. You might actually notice it's a little more comfortable to be wide. So making those adjustments, pouring some weight into the outer edges of your feet, right? Trust the pinky side of those little piggies. Yes, the little pinky toes are there for a reason. Nice. It's a half lift on your inhale. Now, this is a nice time to use a block. You can't really see my block, but I have a block, and it's right under my chest. And I'm actually going to put it up to its highest setting. Now, let me show you from the side what this does, right? So instead of being here with rounding in my back, when I have my block, oh my gosh, look at that. It's like magic, right? So bring the floor up to you. Plant the left hand. Yeah, and then you're going to bring the right hand to your hip, and then you're going to open up towards the right side. So you're looking up towards the ceiling. Now, if you notice your right hip is lifted, bring it back down. Yeah, and you can even bring your hand to your low back if that works for you. If you have that range, that's great. If not, no worries. Keep your hand on your hip as you rotate, right? This is a twist, right? But we're trying to isolate that twist in the mid-back, not in the hips. Good. On your exhalation, lowering down and completely relax. Let the head go, let the arms go, and breathe. Just letting go of tension. Shaking the head gently, yes. Very nice. All right, halfway lift. Once again, if you're using a block, get it under the chest, planting that right hand now. Left hand either to the hip or on the low back. And we're going to twist to the left, keeping the left hip level with the right hip. And breathe here, right? Every inhalation, think length through the spine. And every exhale is an invitation to twist just a little more deeply around the midline. And find the breath. Good. Final inhalation. And on the exhale, lowering down. Final big forward fold here. So nice. Nice. Walk the hands all the way over to the left foot. Lift the heels, pivot on the balls of the feet, and you're going to end up in a low lunge facing the top of your mat, I hope. Step your right foot in to meet the left, and on an inhalation, rise to stand, arms sweep up and over the head, and we wind up in Tadasana on the exhale. Or just however you want to get there. Yeah, standing at the top of the mat. Doesn't have to be a fancy transition. All right, we're going to make our way down. One sun salutation right here. Inhale, lift the arms up high, look up. Exhale, full forward fold. Halfway lift on the inhalation, look up and out. Exhale, high plank and down to the mat. Hug the elbows in, tops of the feet are down. Inhale, baby cobra, peel the chest up off the floor. And exhale to your final downward facing dog of the day. Yay! Don't forget that bend in the knees as you reach the hips back, thinking about extension and length in the spine. Chest pressing towards the knees. Nice. Dropping down to the knees. You can crisscross at the ankles, push off, and you're going to end up sitting on your bum. Yes, nice. Good. So a few options here. It can be helpful in forward folds, two things. One is if you sit on something, right? So this can be like a roll, like if you have a mat that's rolled up, you can sit on that. You can sit on your block. You can sit on a firm pillow, whatever. And the other one is to not feel like you have to completely straighten your knees out, okay? So you can have a soft bend in the knees, that's okay. So we're going to do a forward fold here. Your legs are in a V shape, right? Not all the way out, just a V. And from this place, we're going to slowly come forward. Now, it's awesome if you can get your head down to something, but it's okay if you don't have something like that. Just coming into that forward fold. Once again, those options, you can sit on something if you'd like. Just have a soft bend in the knees. And in this fold, we are passive, right? So we're inviting in total release of effort. Nice, with helping hands pressing up through the hands to rise, shoulders over hips, moving whatever you had under your head off to the side, and the legs will come back in. Scoot yourself down enough so that you can lie down and still be on your mat. And I'll adjust my camera in just a second. Once you get down there, hug the knees in wide. So right hand over the top of the right knee, left hand over the top of the left knee, and hug the knees wide outside the shoulder blade or outside the rib cage. Good. Give them a good squeeze. Good. Feet can come down. We're going to take the right ankle, cross it over the left quad. And then with your mind, press that right knee away from you, external rotation of the hip. Now you might feel a stretch here and feel satisfied with that stretch. If you'd like a deeper stretch, take your hands, clasp them behind the left hamstring and hug the legs towards you. Either way, you are pressing that right knee away from you actively. Okay, so this is not a fully passive stretch. We want to maintain that external rotation pressure in the joint. Right? Not to the point of pain, right? But just that stretch sensation. And breathe. Nice. Placing the left foot down if it's up, unclasping the hands, stretching that right leg out for a second. Nice. And then the right foot comes back in. We can cross left ankle over the top of the right thigh. And second side stretch, just to figure out where it's best for you to be. A little tuck of the chin to keep the neck long. And doing your best to keep a long spine, right? So that means tailbone down. Yeah, if you're hugging your legs in and you have to lift your head or lift your tail and you end up like this, that's probably not the best variation of the posture for you, right? We want to be able to maintain nice neutral back. Unclenching the jaw, creating space between your two rows of teeth. Place the right foot down. You can stretch the left leg out long for a second. Pointing the toe, flexing the ankle. Nice. Good. Both knees come back in towards the chest. Supine twist to the right. So the knees are going to fall over to the right side. The left arm is going to reach out to the left, palm face up, encouraging that left shoulder blade to be down on the mat or close to it. And once again, just releasing effort here as much as possible. Yeah. And making adjustments to make that possible. So if you're in a position where you have to put in a lot of effort to stay in the position, then I would make adjustments. You can scoot your hip back towards the center of the mat a little bit, maybe. You can straighten out the legs or do whatever you need to do. Once you find stillness, return to breath. Notice any tension in the shoulders or neck or face. Moving slowly through center, one leg at a time, and then change sides. You might notice a difference from side to side. That's okay. You might need to make different accommodations. Relax the bottom leg. Release the ankles. Don't try to hold the arms in any particular shape. Just flop them out and let them relax. And slowly moving through center. Hugging the knees in one more time, and then we'll stretch the legs out. Coming into Shavasana, final resting pose or corpse pose. So the heels are at least as wide as the edge of the mat. Arms out by your sides, wide, giving your armpits room to breathe, palms facing up. You can do a scan of the body, starting at the top of the head, releasing the weight of the head into the mat. Feel the softness and heaviness in the shoulder blades, elbows, back of the hands. A release through mid back and low back, softening the belly. Heavy and soft through the pelvis, through your bum and thighs. Letting go of effort through the knees, the lower legs, ankles, and feet. Our ability to be strong is an asset, but chronic tightness and not having the ability to let go and relax and release, right, creates imbalance. So we practice this letting go, this surrendering, this release of effort, allowing gravity to pull you down without resistance. Notice the body breathing itself, continuing to live, right? Like without you even trying anything to do anything or needing to help. And so we step out of this role of doing into this place of just being. Just allow your body to be. And drawing in a deep awakening breath. Reach the arms up over the head. Big stretch from fingertips to toe tips, like you're just waking up. Rib cage flares towards the sky, low back lifts. The knees come into the chest, rocking onto the right side of the body into the fetal position. Right arm can reach up over the head, acting as a little pillow. Just a few breaths here, soaking up the sweetness of the practice, letting it all sink in. And pressing up into a seated position once again, just for a brief wind down and reflection. You can have the eyes remain closed and hands resting loose and comfortable. Lengthen up through the spine, shoulders relax. Sitting alert, but calm and at ease. Noticing your inner landscape, the quality of the breath. Maybe any changes or shifts that have happened between the beginning of class and now. Maybe the breath is more spacious. Feel a sense of openness or softness in the body that wasn't there before. Or maybe it's an emotional shift or mental shift. Maybe train the mind to notice. Bringing hands together, thumbs to heart. And I always say, ending class, Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. It means peace, peace, peace. Thank you so much for allowing me to guide your practice today. To my yogi paddlers, such a great community that we have going here. So some dates are going to change. So we're going to talk about that. So don't just sign off, okay? Stay right here. I'm just going to stop the recording.